I know how powerful each of you are. Your challenge for the next 7 days, every time you catch yourself being grateful for something that feels limiting or small, flip it. Ask yourself, what capability does this situation let me appreciate about myself? Conscious seekers, you're not here to be grateful for less. You're here to recognize your power to create more. And when you do that, abundance becomes inevitable. Stay powerful, guys. Stay creating and start expanding. All right, conscious seekers, I'm about to blow everything you think you know about gratitude. And I'm pissed about it, honestly. Because for years, I've been watching people get sold this bullshit version of gratitude that sounds like, just be grateful for what you have and more will come. Meanwhile, they're journaling about being grateful for their debt, their toxic job, their shitty apartment, and they're wondering why their life isn't changing. Well, here's the truth bomb. Nobody's telling you this. Most gratitude practices are actually blocking your abundance. They're keeping you small, keeping you settling, keeping you grateful for scraps when you could be feasting. And I discovered this the hard way when I realized I was using gratitude as this spiritual bypass, basically convincing myself to be happy with less instead of actually creating more. And the science backs this up in ways that'll make your head spin. So today we're going to talk about why most people are doing gratitude completely backwards. And the one thing that actually rewires your brain for abundance, and how to stop being grateful for scraps, victim mode, and start creating the creator of your life. And that's something that will make you genuinely excited to wake up. And that's what I do every morning, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. I am excited to wake up. But a year ago, I was having issues with this. I was journaling and it wasn't working. I was putting my 3 to 5 best things on gratitude, and we're going to get into all that. This isn't feel-good fluff. This is the difference between staying stuck and actually transforming as a creator your reality. So I'm going to get real with you about something. The gratitude industrial complex has sold us a lie, and it's keeping millions of people playing small. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the voice that says, you should be grateful for what you have. Maybe your parents told you that. I know there's only rice on the table. I know there's only potatoes here for you, but you need to be grateful for that. And anytime you wanted something better, you couldn't have it because you would feel guilty for wanting something more, guilty for abundance. And you know what that was? That wasn't wisdom. That was conditioning. And it was designed, and all of this industrial complexes that are out there, the school system, the government, everything is designed to keep you settling, to get less and less and less while they get more and more and more, right? And I used to have this gratitude journal I was saying earlier, and I'd write things like, I'm grateful for my shitty apartment. Well, I was literally like cramped and having friends over, and I would dream of having space to breathe. And I was training my brain to be content with less than what I actually needed. Not just wanted, but needed. And here's what nobody tells you. When you're grateful for things that don't actually serve you, you're sending a message to your subconscious that says, this is enough. And to be honest, I don't need to reach for more. But here's where it gets wild. Neuroscientists at Berkeley found that people who practice generic gratitude, like I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my job, they showed no lasting brain changes. But people who practice what they call specific, quick appreciation for current resources, just these little quick micro gratitudes, literally rewired their brains for opportunity recognition. So see, there's a massive difference between being grateful for what you have versus appreciating what's working in your current situation so that you can begin to expand on it as the creator that you were put here on earth to be. So the one keeps you stuck, the other becomes rocket fuel for your next level. So here's the test. If your gratitude practice makes you feel like you should want less, you're doing it wrong. Real gratitude should make you feel so alive and resourced that you naturally start reaching for more. Okay. So I want to make sure I'm real practical with you guys. So here's where it gets really good. The secret isn't about being grateful for big, life-changing stuff. It's about catching the tiny moments where life is actually working for you. Let me give you an example. this morning, instead of forcing myself to be grateful for my health, I caught myself appreciating how my body just knew how to make coffee without me having to think about it. My hands knew where everything was. But the pour over machine, the grinder. I mean, I'm really into coffee, guys. Like, seriously into coffee. Like, I'm talking the most bougiest coffee setup that you can imagine. I've posted pictures on Instagram on it. And my brain coordinates the whole thing effortlessly. And I wanted to appreciate that I'm capable, that I'm intelligent, and that I can actually have something that I super enjoy first thing in the morning when I get up. So do you see what just happened? Instead of being grateful for some abstract concept, I'm recognizing my own intelligence. I'm recognizing my own body's wisdom and my ability to create exactly what I want. And you know what that is? That is fuel for abundance. When you start noticing how much is actually working in your favor, your brain begins to process the information. This is neuroscience, guys. Then your brain begins to notice these little things, and then opportunities begin to show up. People begin to respond to you differently. And you stop operating from scarcity, and you start operating from, wow, I'm pretty powerful here. Most people are so busy being grateful for what they don't have enough of that they miss all the evidence that's around them of what they're already good at creating. Everybody, it's the snowflake thing, guys. God each gave us an ability to create. And it's up to you to find that. That's what you're put on this earth, to learn to find, what do I create the most with? What expands? What can I focus on that expands me more? And I remember the exact moment this clicked for me. I was stuck in this cycle of being grateful for my challenging financial situation. Basically, I always was trying to be appreciative that the universe, I was like, yeah, I know I'm going to be successful. I know I'm going to do this, but I was appreciating being broke. Then I shifted to appreciating how quickly I could learn new things, how people would respond to my ideas, and how I could see solutions other people missed. I'm really good at strategy, and I have this intuition where I can see things that, like I can go into a business and I can see what's wrong. I can go into a business and see what's working good and what they need to do more of. And I get paid for that. And within 3 months, I created more income than I had in the previous year. It's not magic. It's neuroscience. When you appreciate your capabilities, instead of settling for your circumstances, your brain starts pattern matching. It's I buy a red Toyota, and next thing you know, I see red Toyotas everywhere, right? That's science. It's pattern matching. And you'll begin to see literally opportunities that were invisible before, because we're in scarcity. We're in that tunnel mindset. We're in that fight or flight. The brain has to only see like what's right in front of us. It's not going to stop to smell the flowers when we have this imaginary cheetah chasing us, right? So let's activate the abundance. How do we do that? Here's where we're going to flip the script completely. Real abundance is about getting more stuff. It's not about that. It's about recognizing how much creative power you actually have right now. The old way. I'm grateful for my job. Well, you hate your job. How about you say this? I'm appreciating how good I am at solving problems under pressure. And I'm asking the universe to provide an opportunity for me, and I'm looking constantly for the opportunities for a new job that matches my new skills, my new creative skills. The old way, I'm grateful for my small apartment. How about the new way? I'm appreciating how I can create beauty and comfort wherever I am. And you should be working on that. If you have to find free things, if you have no money, you can still make things beautiful. A can of paint does wonders. Cleaning, making sure everything's clean does wonders. You see the difference? One keeps you grateful for limitations. The other recognizes your unlimited ability to create. Not only to create, but this is evolution, guys. Adaptation, to adapt. We're so good at that. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, he wasn't sitting around being grateful for his problems. He appreciated his ability to think clearly under pressure. He knew that he could lead effectively and that he could find wisdom in difficult situations. And he recognized his own power. And he didn't settle for less, did he? So here's the formula. small appreciation for current capabilities, plus recognition of your creative power equals, math formula here, guys, automatic expansion of what's possible. So instead of being grateful for the money in your bank account, appreciate how quickly you can learn, how people trust you, how you can create value for others. Instead of being grateful for your current relationship, appreciate your capacity for love, your ability to communicate, and your gift for making people feel seen. And if you're not doing those things, no amount of appreciation, you should appreciate it and then love. You should appreciate it and then practice how to communicate and study and learn. If you're not making people feel seen, you're missing out. That's serving others, isn't it? Jesus was a master at this. Read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the Bible, and you'll see Jesus always made people feel amazing. Unless it was the religious, idiots that were stealing from people and using God's name in vain. They were using God to make money, right? And we see this constantly in the churches that are out there and these false religions, isn't it? But when you do this, something shifts in your energy. You stop vibrating at grateful for scraps and start vibrating at I am aware of my power. And the universe responds. It's going to respond completely different. So this is going to be a quick podcast today, but I want a new practice for you. And this is going to feel completely different from anything you've tried before. Every morning, before you even get out of bed, catch 3 things your body or mind just did automatically. What did it do? Maybe it regulated your temperature all night. Maybe your brain all of a sudden gave you a great idea on how to organize your day. Maybe your intuition. Listen, maybe your intuition is already telling you something important and you're ignoring it. Don't just notice these things, appreciate them. This is evidence of your intelligence, your power, your capability. You're not grateful for having a body. You're appreciating how intelligent your body is. So throughout the day, this is opportunity spotting practice. When something good happens, even tiny something, like I'm holding my coffee, it feels warm, feels great. I love how this coffee feels in my hands when it's cold outside. I love how the coffee tastes. And then how does this help me in understanding and respond well to the idea? How does it help me have evidence of my communication skills? How does it help me solve a problem quickly? Because I'm intelligent and there's evidence of it. I can see it here and here. And they're not little things, guys. These things are what we do in our gifts and our abilities that God has given us. In the evening part, guys, evening integration before bed, acknowledge 3 ways you created something today. What did you create? Focus on you being a creator. Even if it was just creating a good conversation with a friend or a moment of peace or a solution to the small little problem. Maybe you helped your daughter figure something out that was frustrating her. See what you're doing? You're training your brain to see yourself, not just a receiver. See, this is the problem. We always think we just need to receive. No. We take responsibility because we are the creator, not just a receiver. And remember, you're not being grateful for what life gives you. You're appreciating what you're capable of creating. One makes you passive, the other makes you powerful, doesn't it? So here's what I want you to understand. You don't need more gratitude. You don't need more recognition of your own power. Stop being grateful for scraps. Stop appreciating limitations. Stop feeling for at least I have. Start appreciating your intelligence, your creativity, your ability to learn, your ability to adapt and create. Start recognizing that abundance isn't something that happens to you. It's something that flows through you. And when you remember how powerful you actually are, guys, it's putting a smile on my face because I know how powerful each of you are. Your challenge for the next 7 days, every time you catch yourself being grateful for something that feels limiting or small, flip it. Ask yourself, what capability does this situation let me appreciate about myself? Conscious seekers, you're not here to be grateful for less. You're here to recognize your power to create more. And when you do that, abundance becomes inevitable. Guys, thanks for going deep with me today. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate how brilliantly each of you are. There's a passage in scripture about the devil or Satan, whatever you want to call about he's a deceiver, the great deceiver, right? He doesn't want you to see the power. Stay powerful, guys. Stay creating and start expanding. I know how powerful each of you are. Your challenge for the next 7 days. Every time you catch yourself being grateful for something that feels limiting or small, flip it. Ask yourself, what capability does this situation let me appreciate about myself? Conscious Seekers, you're not here to be grateful for less. You're here to recognize your power to create more. And when you do that, abundance becomes inevitable. Stay powerful, guys. Stay creating and start expanding.